Hari Om. We are meeting again to discuss yet another topic. And as many of the students, as they go on asking me to speak about a particular topic, this time I had many of you asking me to speak about trust. The topic is absolute trust. Not simple trust, absolute trust. To trust is absolute belief, complete belief. No less, no more is possible. It's not possible you say I trust less or I trust more. Trust is absolute trust. So trust has to be absolutely, totally, completely. When you remove this word, this alphabet T from trust, then what is left? Rust. Go with flow develops trust. So the first procedure to strengthen our trust is to go with flow. Doubt creeps in and trust evaporates. The opposite of trust is doubt. So as doubt creeps in, trust evaporates. That doesn't mean that every time trust has been paid off. It's not possible. For many, trust would have brought them to face many painful situations, and their trust would have got them into bad and negative result. The trust would have got them into a situation of cheat. I'm not saying that everyone is paid off with trust. One person or one situation could have broken your trust, which is possible. But that should not break the trust element that you have within you. That should not break the strength within you. Basically, the trust is your own strength. Others might have broken you or cheated you, but trust belongs to you. It's your property. So trust is your strength. Break the trust in all. It's not possible. Not everybody can break your trust. So to trust is to have faith in one's people, in one's relationship, in one's situation, in one's circumstances, etc., no matter what happens. Now, I just ask you to ponder. Just ponder. What are we made of? What are we? We are humans, human beings, and we are made up of faith alone. There is nothing else but faith alone. How did we take birth? With trust, we took birth as an infant, not knowing. We didn't know we'll be able to cry, but we cried aloud to breathe. Every step as we moved on, from an infant to a little toddler to a baby to grown up, every step we required trust. We required that faith. So we were able to move just because we had faith. When outer circumstances breaks our trust, that's okay, but then that trust should not break my faith. What happens is, outer circumstances, relationships, people, their behaviors could have caused damage of the trust element that we had. But then, the pain shouldn't be that much where you lose your own faith. Your faith is yours, your personal strength. Now, no one has seen God, yet we have trust. Why do we have trust? Tomorrow is not known to anyone. We don't know about tomorrow. How much ever we plan, yet we don't know what is in store for us tomorrow. Yet we have trust until tomorrow comes. We do not know while we sleep. Right in the morning, sun will arise. But we have trust. Trust is a basic quality of the man. So why deprive of that basic quality that we have? We are inborn with trust. We are inborn with faith. Trust begins with having faith in yourself, in your own abilities. You can't have faith just because others are saying you something. You should develop that faith, trusting yourself. That is your ability. Trust yourself. That is your strength. At the same time, don't develop trust as a helpless tool. Just don't go on trusting just because you have no other way. Don't be helpless while you're trusting. Trust is your strength. Faith is your ornament. If you're brave, courageous, confident, then trust and faith will establish your personality no matter what others have done with you. As I said a little while ago, the opposite of trust is doubt. There are certain things destined for this incarnation. So let us have trust and allow it to manifest. By doubting, we are stopping the manifestation. By developing doubts, we are stopping whatever for the future has to manifest for ourselves. Doubt is such a dark and negative element that it doesn't stop in this lifetime. If you don't clear your doubt, if you don't have faith, if you don't develop that inner strength of faith and trust within you, the doubt continues and it goes on chasing you. Your whole personality gets corrupted. You will soon lose your smile, your innocence, your happiness, because you become a personality of doubt. And this doubt element is so strong. This is a very, very strong virus which will chase you into your next incarnation also, if not solved. If you don't solve the issue that is causing distrust, doubt, if you don't solve it in peaceful and harmonious way, it continues to take you to the next life, next lifetime too, in your next incarnation too. I'm sharing a small little story from Ramcharitramanas, written by Sri Bhagavan Tulsidas. In this story, Lord Shiva and Ma Sati went to Agastya Rishi's ashram. They left Mount Kailash, their home, their abode, and they went to Agastya Rishi's ashram. And Lord Agastya, the great sage Agastya, received Lord Shiva and Mata Sati, Mother Sati, Goddess Mother Sati, with great honor, respected, washed their feet, received them with so much grace and worshipped. And they said, "Oh, how lucky I am, oh Lord Shiva and Ma Sati, you have come and visited this little ashram and you have blessed me." They sat together for some time, and Agastya said, the sage Agastya said, "Lord Shiva, what can I do for you?" Lord Shiva said, "I have come here to listen from you the Leelas of Ram Leela." So he said, "I have come here basically for Ram Katha." So Agastya Rishi started to narrate the Ram Katha to Lord Shiva and Mata Sati. And days passed by, and they were beautiful days for both of them. And Lord Shiva was so much drowned into the Katha. But at the same time, Mata Sati's mind developed some doubt. She thought, Sage Agastya is welcoming us. He is worshipping Shiva. He is saying, "You're the Lord of Lords, you're the Mahadeva." And when Lord Shiva, my husband, my partner in this whole of cosmos, if he is so big and the biggest, he's the most strongest worshipable embodiment, then what is so big about this katha that he is talking? So she developed some little doubt, and Lord Shiva could understand that doubt. But Lord Shiva drowned himself into the katha. He enjoyed every bit of the katha, And after a few days of living in the ashram, listening to the entire Ram Katha, they took leave from Sage Agastya, and they walked towards their home, to Mount Kailash. And while they were going, Lord Shiva purposely went through Chitrakoot, and he passed through Dandakavan. Dandakavan was a forest where at that time Sri Ram and Lakshman, they were in search, they were going and they were in exile, and at that time they had lost Mother Sita, and they were searching for Sita, both of them. And Shiva saw Ram. When he saw, Lord Shiva saw Ram in all his glory, in his divine glory, and in his divinity, and in his absolute human leela, human play, where he had to forget his cosmic presence and his cosmic intelligence, and he had to behave with all human attachments as a very normal human. And yet he was so glorious. So Shiva was just, Lord Shiva was so emotional when he saw Ram in that state. And he addressed him as Sachidananda Parabrahma. And when he said Sachidananda Parabrahma, Sati took offense to it. Mata Sati said, "How can that be?" So, at that time, Sati said, Satim so dasa shambhu ke dekhi, urupaja sandehu biroshi. Shankaru jagat bandh jagadisha, Suravara Muni Sabanavat Sira. So, when she said that, Sati, when she saw her husband Lord Shiva in that state, her doubt became bigger, because that is a disease of the doubt. I'm not saying that people might not be cheating you, but doubt is something like a very small virus, and you give energy to it, it becomes bigger and bigger. So Sati developed doubt while she was in Agastya Muni's ashram. So her doubt developed bigger now, because Lord Shiva, was so much in love, affection for Rama Avatar, Lord Rama, and he addressed as Sachidananda Parabrahma. So she said, how is it possible? In her mind, she said the entire world worships Shiva, and he's called as Jagadishwara. Man, sages, devas, yakshas, asuras, everyone bows to him. And he is, the cause of the whole world. How can Shiva, who is being respected by everyone as Jagadishwara, bow to a poor man who is helplessly crying? How can this man who is helplessly crying be addressed as a great incarnation? So she just was so confused. And in this Ram Leela, Ram was deeply sad. In this Ram Katha, Ram was so deeply sad. He was searching for Sita, Mother Sita. And she just went on, where did she go? Where can I find her? Who will give me any clue? And he was in tears and tears. So he didn't know where else to look for her. And he was running around. And the more he was running into the forest, the more deeper the doubt developed in Sati's mind, in Mata Sati's mind, that how can he be Sachidananda Parabrahma? Because he is behaving like any ordinary man. He's running after, crying, asking, and then he's lost his mind. He's asking from everyone. He's not asking from human beings. He's asking, Hey Khagamrig, Hey Madhukara Shreni, Tumah dekhi Sita Mriganayani, Khanjana Sukha Kapota Mrigamina, Madhupanikar Kokila Prabina. So he said, Hey trees, hey birds, oh lovely animals, oh beautiful insects. Have any of you seen my beloved Sita, my beautiful eyed Sita? All these plants, creepers. Have you all seen my Sita? She developed more doubts looking at it. So she asked Shiva, how did you address him like this? She couldn't ask him much, but then the doubt in her mind was reflecting so much that Shiva said, dear Sati, don't doubt on this. Because just a little while ago, few days before, you heard the story of Ram from Agastya Rishi. And you heard the Ram Katha there. He was supposed to be in this human incarnation with entire human feelings. But he is divine. He is an avatar. But then Sati was Sati at that point, because she was not Mata Sati then. She was doubt incarnate Sati then. That is what happens with us when we lose our faith and belief. She kept thinking in her mind, what is this? She said, Ati bichitra raghupati charita janahi puram sujan je mati mand bimoh bara hridayam dharahi kachuhan. So she said, Raghunath's behavior is very mysterious. My Lord's behavior seems to be so different. And Lord Shiva said to Sati, wait, this is Lord Raghu, this is Lord Ram who is behaving in such a human consciousness way. I am not behaving in a mysterious way. I am recognizing that cosmic presence in him, and I understand that cosmic avatar in him. It is his Leela, it is his incarnation where he has to behave in human consciousness to understand this many great stories. So Lord Shiva tried to convince Sati as much as possible, and he said saints and jnanis, they find it difficult to understand that he is no ordinary human. He is crying in human consciousness, searching for his wife, but then look at that divine consciousness in him. He is that Parabrahma, and he is supposed to behave in that way. With closed mind, one cannot understand. So, dear Sati, open yourself, release your doubt. With attachment to your belief, if you believe that this is dark, then the belief will become bigger. So with your belief, you are more attached to what you believe. With that, you develop more doubts. And that's not the way that we should be going. So they commit mistakes just because they lack faith. So Lord Shiva said, just because we are so attached to our belief systems, because we believe he is wrong, he is right, she is wrong. So we believe, we have attachment to our belief system, and we develop doubt and we stagnate at that point. Just because we lack faith, we commit mistakes. While saying this to Sati, Shiva kept looking at Ram. Lord Shiva kept looking at Ram with his compassionate, affectionate, divine eyes. And from behind the trees, his heart was throbbing with compassion and enormous love flowing from his heart for Lord Ram. He experienced such divine ecstasy in the presence of Ram. He filled his eyes with the image of Lord Ram. He tried, then he realized it won't serve the purpose of that avatar if he goes near and speaks. So he did not go near to speak, as he realized that was not the right time. But the fact was that Mata Sati developed doubt. And she put up this, very clearly to Lord Shiva, that I don't consider Ram to be an incarnation. But Mata Sati, her doubt became so big. And she said, no, I don't accept. Somewhere I'm not, confident about what you're saying. I would personally like to check. So Lord Shiva said, okay, I will sit here under this tree and wait for you. So why don't you go ahead and you check for yourself about Lord Ram's conscious awareness of who he is. But beware, you should know all the limits of tests and checking. I'm waiting for you here, and you can go ahead, check Lord Ram and come back. Now while Mata Sati took leave from Shiva, she went ahead to check Ram. And at that time she was thinking, how can I go and check? What should I do? What would be the best way to check? So she immediately came to a conclusion. She was so quick in her conclusion, because while we are shrouded with darkness called doubts, we do all wrong things. So she took a wrong decision. So Sati, with her powers, immediately turned herself as Mata Sita. She became Sita. She walked ahead and she bowed to Ram in the form of Sita. She wanted to check Ram if he recognizes her as his wife Sita, or he recognizes the true presence of Mata Sati in that body. She walked ahead and she bowed and she smiled at Ram. And Ram was weeping inconsolably, crying, weeping. But then what happened? When Ram looked at Sati in the form of Sita, he immediately recognized that she was Sati. He bowed to her. He bowed and said, "Welcome, Mother. Where is my Divine Father?" So that was a big blow for Sati, and she realized that he was absolutely consciously divine, cosmic conscious, aware, incarnated in this human body. So whatever he was doing, weeping, crying, all that, his human emotions, Sati quickly left that place, and she did realize that she was wrong and she committed a mistake. She should not have crossed the boundary of human relationship. She should not have taken the form of Sita. She went back, and Lord Shiva was sitting there, and he knew what had happened. He quietly walked ahead, and Sati walked behind him. They went to Kailash, and the moment when they reached their home, Lord Shiva just sat in his meditation. And generally, Sati would be around him, but he did not want Sati to sit next to him. So Sati was sitting in front of him like an audience. He went into deep meditation for thousands of years. It's not the earth years, of course, the light years. And after many years of tapasya, meditations, once he woke up. And in his mind he was thinking, what would he do with Sati? Because when she changed the form, she became Sita. She was no more his wife. She was no more his consort. So how would he make her sit next to him? That was not possible. And in that confusion, Sati also realized she had committed a mistake. Sheer ignorance, doubt. And after many years, when Lord Shiva opened his eyes, Sati tried to ask him, and Shiva was not very comfortable, and he did try to narrate her mistake, and how would he accept her back as his wife after taking up that body. Who is she? In the meanwhile, it is said that her father organized, Sati's father organized yajna, and he did not invite Sati or Lord Shiva. And Sati wanted to go to her father. She goes to her father for the yajna, and she feels very angry that Lord Shiva was not invited, and she expresses her anger there, and that results to chaos, and ultimately she jumps into fire to kill herself, because she finds that was a grave insult to her and her husband. Then of course Sati was reborn as Mata Parvati, and Shiva and Parvati They meet again and they get married. They are the divine couple. But then, what is the metaphor we learn from this? That particular incarnation, or that aspect, that doubt, destroyed one entire creation. So a newness, a new body here just means a newness, a new self has to be created for acceptance back in the relationship. But the end of the story here is that she did not have any doubt. Sati did not have any doubt. She put up this whole act just to prove to the whole world that Ram was not human, but he was behaving like a human. He was not human, he was behaving like a human. And he went around crying for Sita just to give this, act to the whole world how a normal human would behave. But his conscious awareness was always with him. So trust needs to be developed. One day trust doesn't come. It needs to be developed. If you can wear a garment called trust, then you can go ahead in life very successfully. One can be wrong, two people can be wrong, one situation could have cheated you, but not everybody is going to be wrong to you. So wearing the trust garment called trust, if you can walk ahead in life, you will develop your personality, because trust needs development. It can be developed slowly. Doubt is the opposite, dark cloud. And what happens in cloud? The cloud is one large cloud. Then it breaks into small clouds. So if I have a doubt, I'm going to talk to 10 people. So my cloud, one large cloud, breaks up and it goes into 10 people into small clouds. And it goes and hits those dark people. It creates that 10 people have that clouds upon their heads. Absolute faith makes you feel fearless and confident. And that is what matters. Absolute faith makes you fearless. Absolute faith makes you confident. That is what matters. This entire story I narrated to make you understand. It was a whole cosmic drama. But then I just wanted you to understand, why did Sati, what was the rush in her mind? Why did she wanted to go and check Ram? Just because that little doubt crept in her mind when Sage Agastya was narrating the story, because she had that pride in her mind at that time that I am Sati and Lord Shiva from Kailash, Jagadishwara, Mahadeva, and nobody is bigger than him. So how can Ram Katha be so sacred and so powerful? And with that story, what we get to understand is that doubt initially is very, very small, minuscule. Very, very small. But then if we don't treat it, then it just breaks us apart, breaks this personality until we take a new janma. That means newness. The whole doubt, the entire scenario, everything is cleared and newness comes back. So until I meet you next, I wish all your doubts are cleared. There is no room for any doubt in your minds and hearts and in your relationships and in your circumstances. Have that faith, develop that faith, build up that faith. Hold that trust in your hearts, hold that trust in your personality. Express that trust in everything that you do. That's what makes you divine. That alone describes your inner strength and your inner power. Hope you will remember the story and those little words I spoke about trust, and you will be beautiful embodiment of trust and faith, fully developed, conscious human being. Many blessings. Hari Om.